Ladies and gentlemen, dreamers and doers, we all have dreams. We all carry visions in the quiet chambers of our hearts, ideas of who we want to become, the life we wish to live, the legacy we hope to leave. But here's the truth, dreams alone are not enough. A dream without design is like a blueprint never built, a foundation that never sees its walls rise. Each of us is born with an inner architect, an innate ability to shape, plan, and construct our future. But too often we treat our dreams as distant stars rather than as raw materials waiting to be carved into reality. Think of the architect. Before a single brick is laid, they draw, they plan, they measure, they envision every detail. The architect doesn't just imagine a beautiful building, they design it into existence, and so must we. Your life is your greatest masterpiece. If you leave it only to chance, the winds of distraction, fear, and procrastination will scatter the bricks. But if you take up the role of the architect, you transform vague wishes into tangible structures. So, how do you begin? First, clarity. A dream without clarity is like a map without landmarks. Ask yourself, what does success look like for me? Not for society, not for my neighbor, not for social media, but for me. The clearer the vision, the stronger the blueprint. Second, strategy. Too many dreams die in the cemetery of good intentions. Strategy is your scaffolding. Break the dream into steps, deadlines, and daily actions. A skyscraper is built one floor at a time, so too is your destiny. Third, discipline. The architect shows up every day, rain or shine. They don't wait for motivation. They rely on consistency. Your habits are the bricks of your future. Lay them carefully. Fourth, resilience. Even the best designs face setbacks. Storms come, foundations crack, plans need revisions. But the true architect adapts, learns, and rebuilds stronger. So when life knocks you down, don't abandon the design, redraw it. And finally, belief. You are both the architect and the construction crew of your life. If you do not believe in the structure you are building, no one else will. Every great achievement began as an unseen line on the page of someone's imagination. So I ask you today, what blueprint are you carrying inside? What building are you leaving half finished? What dream needs to stop floating in your mind and start standing on the ground? The world doesn't just need more dreamers, it needs more builders. More people brave enough to sketch, design, and construct their vision, no matter how many times the draft needs erasing. Remember, don't just dream it. Design it. Your inner architect is waiting. Pick up the pencil. Roll out the blueprint. Build the life you were meant to live. Clarity is the blueprint of your life. Imagine standing on a construction site where workers are waiting. Bricks are stacked and tools are ready, but there's no blueprint. No one knows how tall the building should be, what rooms it will have, or even where the foundation should start. What would happen? Chaos, wasted effort, and eventually collapse. This is exactly what happens in our lives when we chase dreams without clarity. Clarity is the blueprint of your life. It is the design that turns vague hopes into achievable realities. Without clarity, you may find yourself working hard, but not moving forward. You may be busy every day, yet still feel stuck. The reason is simple. Energy without direction leads nowhere. When you are clear about what you want, everything changes. Decision making becomes easier, distractions lose their power, and opportunities become more visible. A clear vision works like a lighthouse, guiding you through foggy waters. Even when storms come, you know where the shore lies. Clarity begins with asking the right questions. Too often, we adopt dreams that are not truly ours. Society tells us to pursue wealth, status, or approval, and we chase them without pausing to ask, is this what I truly want? The first step toward clarity is silence, the courage to listen to your own voice amid the noise. What excites you? What gives you meaning? What legacy do you want to leave behind? Once you identify your what, the how begins to unfold. For instance, if your dream is to write a book, clarity means knowing what kind of book, who it is for, and why it matters. If your dream is financial freedom, clarity means defining what freedom looks like. Is it paying off debts, building investments, or owning your time? Each definition shapes the steps you take, But clarity is not just about defining the destination, it's also about eliminating distractions. Many of us suffer from dream clutter. We want to do everything at once, but when everything matters, nothing truly matters. The blueprint of your life should not be overcrowded, it should be precise. Just as an architect chooses carefully which rooms belong in a building, you must decide which dreams are worth building now and which can wait. Clarity also breeds confidence. Think about the difference between someone who vaguely says, "I want to be successful," and someone who says, "I will build a sustainable business that empowers young people within the next 5 years." The second person not only knows where they are going, but also inspires others to believe in their vision. When you articulate your dream clearly, you invite support, resources, and collaboration. Of course, clarity is not a one-time achievement. Life evolves, and so do your dreams. The architect revisits the blueprint, adjusts dimensions, and refines details as the project unfolds. In the same way, you must check in with your vision regularly. What was once your dream at 20 may not be your dream at 40, and that's okay. Clarity is not about locking yourself into one path forever. It's about aligning your direction with who you are today and who you want to become tomorrow. So, how can you practice clarity in daily life? Start by writing down your vision in specific, measurable terms. Create a life blueprint where each area, career, relationships, health, growth is defined with intention. Review it often, and most importantly, live by it, because clarity without action is just daydreaming. Remember, no architect builds without a plan, and no life can reach its highest potential without clarity. Your dreams deserve more than wishful thinking. They deserve a blueprint. Clarity doesn't just tell you what to do. It gives you the power to build a life worth living. Strategy turns dreams into actionable plans. A dream without a strategy is like a sketch without measurements. It looks inspiring, but it cannot be built. Many people stop at the dreaming stage. They visualize a better career, a stronger body, a happier life, but they fail to translate that vision into a roadmap. Strategy is what separates dreamers from builders. It is the scaffolding that holds your dream upright until the foundation becomes strong enough to stand on its own. Think about how a skyscraper rises. No builder just starts stacking steel and glass on top of each other. Before a single brick is laid, there is a plan, step-by-step drawings, timelines, materials, and deadlines. The architect knows which floor will be completed when, and the team knows what to do each day. That's what strategy looks like. It takes a lofty dream and breaks it down into actionable, measurable steps. When you set out to pursue a dream, your strategy is your navigation system. Imagine wanting to drive across a continent without a map, fuel plan, or knowledge of the terrain. You'd eventually get lost, waste resources, and maybe never arrive. But with a strategy, you can anticipate challenges, prepare for them, and adjust as needed. Strategy doesn't eliminate uncertainty, but it equips you to face it intelligently. So, how do you build strategy into your dreams? First, break the vision into smaller goals. If your dream is to run a marathon, the strategy begins with running 1 mile, then 3, then 10. If your dream is to start a business, the strategy begins with research, then creating a product, then testing it, then scaling it. Every massive achievement is just the result of consistently completing small, planned steps. Second, set timelines. A dream without deadlines is a wish. Deadlines are not meant to add pressure, but to create accountability. They tell you when each stage of your blueprint should be completed, so you can measure progress and make adjustments. Without timelines, procrastination sneaks in, and your dream keeps moving further away. Third, prioritize. Strategy forces you to answer the tough question, what matters most right now? Not every task is equally important. In fact, most are not. An effective strategy highlights the 20% of actions that drive 80% of results. Focus on what moves the needle, not on what merely feels productive. Fourth, anticipate obstacles. No design survives perfectly intact when it meets the real world. A strong strategy acknowledges that setbacks are inevitable. If you plan for them in advance, they won't break your momentum. For example, if you're saving for a goal, build in a buffer for emergencies. If you're launching a project, expect delays and prepare alternatives. Strategy turns obstacles into detours instead of dead ends. Fifth, track and adjust. The best strategies are living documents, not rigid scripts. Just like architects revise blueprints during construction, you must be willing to refine your plan as you learn more. What worked yesterday may not work tomorrow. The key is to measure progress regularly and ask, is this still the most effective path to my dream? If not, revise. But here's the deeper truth. Strategy is not just about organization. It's about empowerment. When you have a strategy, you feel in control of your future. You stop waiting for someday and start building today. Strategy is how you reclaim power from uncertainty and align your daily actions with your long-term vision. Without strategy, dreams remain castles in the sky. With strategy, they become skyscrapers on the ground. Strategy is the bridge between imagination and execution. It's the step-by-step process that transforms I wish into I will. So I ask you, what dream are you holding on to right now that needs a strategy? Don't just dream it, design it. And remember, design without strategy is just decoration. But with strategy, your dream becomes inevitable. Discipline builds the structure. Imagine a blueprint drawn with perfect precision and a strategy mapped out in detail. You know exactly what to build and you've broken it into steps. But then comes the hardest part, showing up every single day to do the work. That is where discipline comes in. If clarity is the blueprint and strategy is the scaffolding, then discipline is the brick and mortar. It's what transforms plans into structures, piece by piece, until the dream stands tall. We often underestimate discipline, confusing it with motivation. Motivation is the spark. It excites you, inspires you, and gets you started. But sparks fade. Discipline is the firewood that keeps the flame alive. It's not about how you feel in the moment. It's about what you choose to do regardless of feelings. Successful people aren't always the most motivated. They are the most disciplined. Discipline means showing up even when you don't feel like it. The athlete trains on cold mornings. The writer types words even on uninspired days. The student studies even when distractions call louder. These consistent actions, done daily, are the bricks of success. Alone, each brick seems small and insignificant, but when stacked, they create a fortress. One of the greatest misconceptions is that discipline limits freedom. In reality, discipline is what creates freedom. Think about it. Financial discipline leads to financial freedom. Health discipline leads to the freedom of energy and vitality. Time discipline gives you the freedom to focus on what matters most. Without discipline, you are a prisoner of impulse and distraction. With it, you become the master of your destiny. But how do we build discipline? First, start small. Many people fail because they try to build the whole skyscraper in a day. Discipline grows like a muscle. It strengthens with consistent use. Begin with small, daily commitments that align with your dream. If your goal is fitness, commit to 10 minutes of exercise daily, then expand. If your goal is writing, commit to 1 page a day, then grow. Small actions repeated faithfully build momentum. Second, create systems, not just goals. Goals tell you what you want. Systems tell you how to get there daily. For example, wanting to write a book is a goal. Scheduling an hour each morning to write is a system. Systems reduce the need for willpower because they automate discipline into your routine. Third, remove distractions. Discipline thrives in an environment designed for success. If your phone tempts you, put it in another room while working. If unhealthy food derails you, don't stock it at home. The best way to strengthen discipline is to make the desired action easier and the undesired one harder. Fourth, embrace accountability. Discipline multiplies when shared. Share your goals with a trusted friend, mentor, or group who will hold you to your word. Architects don't work alone. Teams ensure the design becomes reality. In the same way, surrounding yourself with accountability partners reinforces your structure. Fifth, celebrate consistency, not perfection. Many people quit because they miss a day and think they've failed. But discipline is not about never slipping. It's about always returning. Missing one brick doesn't collapse the building, but quitting does. Learn to see discipline as progress, not punishment. Over time, discipline transforms into identity. At first, it feels like effort, but soon it becomes who you are. The runner no longer struggles to lace up shoes. Running becomes part of their being. The disciplined life stops being about forcing yourself and starts being about expressing yourself. Discipline is not glamorous. It is quiet, steady, and often unnoticed, but it is also unstoppable. It builds the invisible structure that one day becomes visible as success. While others admire the finished building, you will know it was built brick by brick, choice by choice, day by day. So remember, clarity gives you the dream, strategy gives you the plan, but discipline is what makes the walls rise. Without it, even the most brilliant designs remain paper sketches. With it, your dream takes form, one brick at a time. Resilience redesigns the future, no matter how perfect your blueprint is. No matter how carefully you've crafted your strategy, and no matter how disciplined you are, life has a way of testing your resolve. Storms strike, foundations crack, and walls collapse. Setbacks are not signs that you're unworthy of your dream. They are reminders that every design requires revision. That's where resilience comes in. Resilience is the ability to adapt, recover, and rebuild. It's the skill that transforms failure into feedback and obstacles into opportunities. Picture an architect working on a building project. Midway through, they discover the soil is weaker than expected, or unexpected weather damages the structure. Do they give up? No. They study the problem, adjust the design, and reinforce the foundation. Resilience works the same way in life. It allows us to redesign when reality doesn't match our expectations. Too often, people treat setbacks as final verdicts rather than temporary detours. They think a failed business means they're not cut out for entrepreneurship, or a broken relationship means they'll never find love. But in truth, resilience is not about avoiding failure. It's about bouncing back with greater wisdom. Every obstacle carries within it a lesson that strengthens your next attempt. Resilience begins with perspective. Challenges can either be seen as walls that stop you or as hurdles that strengthen you. When you hit a setback, ask, what is this teaching me? How can I use this experience to redesign my approach? The most successful people in history are not those who avoided failure, but those who refused to be defined by it. Thomas Edison famously said he didn't fail 1,000 times while inventing the light bulb. He discovered 1,000 ways that didn't work. That is resilience in action. Another key to resilience is flexibility. Rigid plans break under pressure, but flexible ones bend and adapt. Your dream may stay the same, but the route to achieving it may need constant adjustment. Think of a river flowing around rocks. It doesn't stop. It simply changes course until it reaches the ocean. Resilient people do the same. Resilience also requires emotional strength. Setbacks hurt, rejections sting, failures bruise the ego. Pretending they don't affect you only suppresses growth. Instead, resilience means feeling the pain but refusing to let it paralyze you. It's about acknowledging the disappointment, processing it, and then choosing to move forward anyway. Like muscles, emotional resilience grows through stress and recovery. Building resilience also depends on your support system. Just as architects work with engineers, builders, and inspectors, you need people who remind you of your strength when you forget. Resilience is not about doing everything alone. It's about leaning on others when necessary and drawing strength from collective encouragement. One of the most powerful aspects of resilience is that it often leads to better outcomes than the original plan. Setbacks push you to innovate, to discover new strengths, and to refine your vision. Many successful businesses, inventions, and life stories were born not from the original plan, but from the redesign that came after failure. In this sense, resilience doesn't just protect the future, it redesigns it for the better. So, how do you cultivate resilience? Start by reframing failure as feedback. Keep a journal of lessons learned from every challenge. Practice flexibility by reminding yourself there are always multiple paths to the same dream. Strengthen your emotional resilience through mindfulness, gratitude, and perspective. And most importantly, commit to never quitting on yourself, no matter how many redesigns it takes. Remember this: resilience is not about bouncing back to where you were. It's about bouncing forward to somewhere new, somewhere stronger, somewhere wiser. Every storm that hits your building is a chance to rebuild with a sturdier foundation. Your dream is not fragile. It is resilient as long as you are. Let resilience be the force that redraws the blueprint when needed and ensures that, no matter how many times life forces a redesign, the future you're building still rises. Belief is the fuel of the architect. Every architect needs more than tools, blueprints, and strategies to bring a design to life. They need faith. Faith that the building will rise even when the ground is empty. Faith that the vision will stand even when others doubt it. In the architecture of life, belief is that fuel. It is the inner power source that keeps your dream alive when challenges exhaust you, when progress feels slow, and when the world questions your design. Belief is not wishful thinking. It is not blind optimism. Belief is a deep conviction that what you are building matters, that it is possible, and that you are capable of seeing it through. Without belief, even the most detailed blueprint gathers dust. With belief, even shaky beginnings can grow into magnificent structures. Think about the great dreamers of history. People like Martin Luther King Jr., Marie Curie, or Elon Musk. What they achieved seemed impossible at first, yet they held unshakable belief in their vision. That belief became contagious, inspiring others to support them, invest in them, and join them. Belief doesn't just fuel your own effort. It ignites a chain reaction that attracts the resources and people you need. But belief starts with you. If you don't trust your own design, how can anyone else? Too often, we wait for validation from the outside world. We want applause before the foundation is even laid. But true belief begins internally, in the quiet decision to back yourself fully. You are both the architect and the first investor in your dream. If you won't invest belief, why should anyone else? Belief also gives you the courage to act before certainty exists. Every great builder begins with empty land, not a finished building. They trust the unseen. Likewise, belief empowers you to move forward when you cannot yet see the full staircase. It allows you to lay the first brick when the skyscraper still lives only in your mind. Now, belief is not always easy. Doubt is a constant companion. You may hear voices, both internal and external, saying, "You can't do this. You're not enough. It will never work." Belief doesn't silence those voices. It chooses not to obey them. Belief says, "I hear you, but I'm building anyway." So how do you strengthen belief? First, speak it. The words you use shape your conviction. Replace "I hope" with "I will." Replace "maybe" with "definitely." Language is powerful fuel. Second, visualize it. See your dream as already real. Imagine the finished structure. Feel the satisfaction of standing in it, and let that vision energize you. Third, surround yourself with belief builders. Doubt spreads quickly, but so does confidence. Keep company with those who lift you higher, not those who drag you down. Another way to strengthen belief is through small wins. Every step completed proves to you that the design is working. Success builds evidence, and evidence strengthens faith. Start small, but celebrate every milestone. It's proof that your belief is not misplaced. Here's the truth. Belief is what carries you when clarity blurs, when strategy falters, and when discipline wavers. It is the final reserve of strength that whispers, "Keep going." Without belief, setbacks break you. With belief, setbacks shape you. Your inner architect needs fuel to keep building, and belief is that inexhaustible source. It doesn't matter if others doubt your vision. What matters is whether you believe enough to keep designing, building, and adjusting until your dream stands tall. Remember this: the world doesn't just reward talent, intelligence, or luck, it rewards belief. Because belief is the foundation upon which every great structure of human achievement has been built. So, believe in your design. Believe in your capacity to build it. Believe that no matter how many redesigns it takes, your vision is worth constructing. Because when you believe, your dream is not just imagined, it is inevitable. As we've explored together, dreams alone are never enough. They are the spark, but not the structure. To truly build the life you envision, you must embrace the role of your inner architect. Clarity gives you the blueprint. It defines what you truly want and cuts through the noise of borrowed ambitions. Strategy provides the scaffolding. It breaks down your vision into steps and guides you through the building process. Discipline lays the bricks. It is the daily consistency that transforms sketches into structures. Resilience redraws the plan when storms hit. It teaches you that setbacks are not endings, but opportunities to rebuild stronger. And belief fuels it all. It is the conviction that your design is possible, valuable, and worth every ounce of effort. Your life is not a random collection of events. It is a project under construction. And you are both the architect and the builder. The question is not whether you have a dream. The real question is, will you design it? Will you commit to clarity, strategy, discipline, resilience, and belief until your vision stands tall for the world to see? The world doesn't just need more dreamers. It needs more architects of possibility. People who are brave enough to take their dreams off the page and raise them into reality. So today, I challenge you, don't just dream it. Design it. Step into the role of your inner architect. Roll out the blueprint of your vision and begin building the masterpiece that only you can create. Your future is waiting. Pick up your tools. The construction of your destiny starts now. Thank you